Okay, let's look at your control room, and I want to show you how quickly and easily you can pull together your own e-publication, personality-centric publication. I'm going to start with a very simple example, and you're literally only a handful of clicks away from making this happen. Let's go over to the control room and we'll show you exactly what happens. So if this is you, you've logged into your control room, and we're going to create a new report. So here you are here, and click on the widget reports. And the simple concept here is that PeopleMaps has provided you with a library of personality topics, and also the facility to write your own topics, your own generic general topics. And the simple concept is that you can mix the two of them together to create a new publication. So let's create a new report. So you give it a name, it's something that you decide what you want to call it, give it a brief description, and we provide you with a library. And we've split the library up into various categories. Now the library is subject to additions and change and modifications, so we're adding to this all the time. We literally have hundreds and hundreds of topics, but these are ones that are most likely to appear in the most commonly for most people. So that's what we're working with this now. So let me just there we go. So what you'll notice here is at the bottom you'll see this subheading, which is custom. These are actually the topics that you've created. And if we take a very simple example, let's say you were wanting to say something about communication, and you wanted a personality topic relating to communication, but you also had something to say about it as well. Then what you could do is write your own introduction to communication. So this is a topic that you would write. It's a generic topic, it's not personality centric, but let's say this is something, so you've said here, oh, why is communication so important? We all do it differently. Fantastic, right? So that's the basic idea. So you've written that, and you've saved it in your own library here. And then we can go up to, here's communication. Now there's one or two different communication styles, but here's one here, communication. So you could have a look at that. You know that communication is something that you're interested in. And here's the actual topic. So you can have a read at that topic, a sample of it. It's a personality topic. And you can go, right, okay, I see what it's saying. Obviously, they'll all be different for each personality type, but the layout, the format, and the length will be largely the same. Obviously, the content will vary according to their personality type. But great, you now know what it says, and you can read that in advance, and then you can write your own introduction topic. Now you're in a position where you can actually build your own report. So let's say, I'll tick on that box. The listing order is simply what order do you want each of the topics to be placed in. Now you might have a lot of topics eventually, so you want to decide what order. And a wee trick here, I would use, you don't need to have all the numbers sequential, so let's say that we know this is going to be at the beginning, so we'll just say, we'll make that 03, and we know we're going to use next, following that will be this topic here, communication style, and let's just say we'll call that 6. So now we can, oops, I need to give it a title. And a description. Okay, now we can submit that. And the report has been successfully created. And there it is, it's called Communication Matters. And I can preview that. So if we click on that, you can see exactly how that would look. So why is communication so important? There it is there, that's the bit that you wrote. And here's the bit provided by PeopleMaps personality centric part. And you could repeat that process with as many of these topics, these generic topics, and as many of these as you like. That's the simple concept, but it's a very powerful effect. Now, if you were just looking for some personality topics to sell on your personality reports to sell on your website, you could simply just write an introduction and tick some boxes of the topics that you wanted to compile into a report, and there you have a finished e-product publication. It's as simple to pull together as that. Now, of course, you can take this further and further still, where you write a lot of content and you can place that and pepper that throughout the publication. It doesn't need to be at the beginning or just at the end, it can be anywhere at all. So I think you'll agree, pretty simple. We can click on the details here and we can see exactly what topics were used. That one, what it was called, it's got a unique ID, and the selling price. So let me explain how the selling price is calculated. Each topic has a price, so if we go back to here and let's say create a new report, and if you look here you'll see that the price is beside each topic. Okay, and the system calculates the selling price, the retail price for one report based on the number of these. So if you had this topic and this topic, then the system would calculate based on these prices here a retail price of £10. It doesn't matter how many of your generic topics that you include. So you might write 10,000 words of your content and maybe just use one personality topic. That report was still only retail for £5. That's how we calculate the system. The system calculates all that for you. So let's go back to the list. A couple of other things that you need to know then is the actual, what you do now that you've got an actual report. And this is where you need to add a new widget. So the widget is the box that, well, in fact, let me show you. Here's one here. So the widget is the box that the entire experience happens inside of. So it might just look like a graphic, but this is a widget box, and in here you can click on this and begin the questionnaire. I can just do that just now, and there's the questionnaire. So inside the widget box is where all the action takes place, and I say ultimately is where the report is also delivered. Now, there's some stuff that you can do to that, and of course you can design your own widget cover, which is what I recommend, obviously. So this is where it becomes very much your product, your branding. You design the front cover, upload that front cover, and you've now got your own product. So this can look like anything you want it to look, and you can also change this here for more advanced users. This is the CSS, so the actual style of the report, the layout, the type of text, the size of text, the headers, all that sort of stuff, that's all controlled by a CSS, which is a style sheet. And it's quite easy to upload your own version of the style sheet. So our header, for instance, so this is an H1, this is a header 1, which looks like that, this is a header 2, subheading, this is how the body text. Well, you can specify all of that. So if you've got your own colours and your own font type and your own size, then you can specify all that by designing your own CSS, and the system will then apply your design to that. So it's not just the front cover that you can design, you can actually design how the report itself looks, and therefore make it look like your own branding and take that branding element that you have that step further. So pretty powerful stuff, but again pretty easy to use. You don't need to be a genius, there's no coding involved, it really is just clicking the right buttons, and a lot of this will come about just by playing around with the system and asking a couple of questions of us if you need to. So that's the idea. So once you've created an actual report, you then need to go and create the widget to put the report into, and that's pretty much it. It's as simple as that. The custom widget topics, this is your library essentially that you've created. So if you were writing something more complex that maybe had 20 or 30 of your own topics peppered around other personality topics, then you would write all of these in advance, and then you would put them in here, and then you reassemble the topic. So you'd say, okay, use my topic, then that topic, as we just did in the earlier example there. So that's it, but it does allow you a huge, powerful tool here where you can make your publications personality-centric, get them into the hands of your users via your website by simply pasting a little piece of code. This here is a little piece of code, you place that anywhere and the widget appears, your job's done. A couple of other features. When someone actually buys your product, I say this is a product which is essentially a joint venture between yourselves and PeopleMaps. So when someone buys, regardless of whether they buy it through PeopleMaps or they buy it directly from you and your website, or even if they buy it through an affiliate, and we'll tell you more about that later because that's coming along shortly, then essentially they become your client as well. So you get all their details. So when someone buys your publication, no matter who sells it, then you have a new client for your publication and you get their details. So this is again quite a unique feature. Where this is important, you might be selling a very low cost report, you know, a sort of less than £5, where you're essentially you know, enticing people in with something. Then part of the purpose of that is, of course, to help you build your list and engage more people on your site, get them to part with a little bit of money, but of course it's their contact and their permission to keep talking to them is also what you're after. So once you've created a customer, then you can carry on talking to that customer. So again, it's something very unusual and very important we feel that you should enjoy. The admin side of things is very basic. It's just your contact details, your receipts and stuff are in here as well. And we can look at integration into the likes of MailChimp and Infusionsoft. These are the third-party mailing platforms, and we'll talk more about that later and get more involved in that later. It's not essential that you know that. It's now you literally can get up and running very simply. If you just wanted to create a simple personality report to sell to people via your website and brand as your own, then a handful of clicks, right, one introduction from yourself, and select the topics that you want to include in that report. You now have a publication you can go and promote and sell that. And I think that makes things pretty special. Okay, I think that covers the biggest part of it. Some statistics down here you can look at. Nothing essential that you really need to know. This is about getting you an ebook, so getting you published. And of course, if PeopleMaps can and likes it and is relevant to its audience, then PeopleMaps Publications would obviously like to talk to its audience about your publication, and will do so whenever that's appropriate, and promote the publication for you, because ultimately we want you to sell. That's how it works, and I hope you have a play with it, give it a try. The library itself, let's quickly look at the library again. Your library may be different. We may even write some special topics from you from time to time. We have written hundreds and hundreds of topics, and more of them will appear in here under these categories and other categories. These are all quite detailed, lengthy topics, but we have lots of other shorter topics that are lighter as well. So there's quite a mix in there, and we'll just keep adding them, and you can use what you like to create personality reports that are relevant to you and your audience. One other thing I'm going to show you is I'm going to show you in the next section the voucher system, which is quite unique as well. So let's go and look at that this time. So on the front of each widget cover, you'll see user login and buy vouchers. User login, essentially, if someone's already completed the questionnaire, they can use their username and password and click on here to save them completing the questionnaire for a second time. They will still have to pay, and they'll still have to do those things. However, the user login will at least mean they don't need to complete the questionnaire again. What I want to show you here is the buy vouchers link. And this is, let's say you're running a workshop, or you want to bundle in, so you don't really want the client, the employer, or whatever, the client to go and pay for each of these reports online individually. You're bundling in with your overall workshop service and charge. Therefore, what you can do is actually go and buy a bunch of vouchers. Either you or your client can go and buy vouchers and essentially buy packs at discount. So let's say you wanted to buy a pack of 10, you were doing a workshop for 10 people, and rather than pay the full price, so a single pack would be 14, for a single report. A pack of 10 was, instead of £140, is 119, so automatically you're getting discount on the volume that you're buying. So what happens is you click in here, Anybody can do this. Your client can do it, an individual can do it, anybody can go and buy vouchers. So you would put in your email address, so let's just say something. And create a username. And what this does is it allows us to then go into my control room and buy a pack, and it's specific to this product. You can't buy this, you know, if I buy vouchers for this product, this only can be used on this publication, can't be used in any other publication. And that was partly because it's very difficult to do and it gets out of control and very complex. We wanted to keep this a really simple system. We wanted anybody to be able to go in here and just buy packs. So here you go, voucher pack, pay with PayPal, that's it. And you just click on that and go and do that. What they can then see is, so if you are doing this, you can then see your existing vouchers. And obviously I haven't purchased any vouchers here, but if I had, what you would get is the voucher code. And what I therefore do thereafter is give that voucher code. So as you can see here, when you get to the Buy Now page, the voucher code bypasses that. So instead of paying money as an individual, I can enter my voucher code and the system will release that report to me there and then, as long as I have a valid voucher code. And that's what this system does. So it's pretty clever stuff, but I think reasonably simple to use. Pretty sure anybody could do that. And everybody who wants to buy a voucher pack, and you might do that as a coach because you maybe got an event or you're bundling it in with your own services, so you might go to your client and say, well, go and do that, but here's a voucher code so you don't have to pay the £20, you get it for free as part of my service, and you give them a voucher code. And that allows you to bundle in this report as with part of your overall service. That's the kind of idea behind that. Or as I say, if you're working in bulk, you've got a workshop coming up or something like that, or your client wants to buy 20 or 50 of these, then they can buy a pack and vouchers and get a discount on the volume. That was the idea behind the voucher codes. I think it's pretty simple but pretty powerful stuff, and I'm pretty sure that you and your clients will make great use of this very simple voucher code system. And I say it appears on every e-publication that's on offer. So all of your publications have this facility without you having to do anything about it specifically. One other thing I meant to mention on the selling price, I say the system calculates the retail selling price based on the number of personality topics used. So in this case here, if you just used one personality topic, then regardless of how much of your own content is included, then the report would calculate a retail price of £5. Now you can override that. You can't override it down the way, but you can override it up the way. So say you had written a lot of content and you wanted to charge a lot more than £5, even though the system's only using one personality topic, then you can go in here and charge whatever you feel you want to charge for that report. So again, another small feature, but very important, because you might write a lot of content and be using this technology and this system to distribute and charge for your own personality-centric ebooks. Even if you're only using a tiny little amount of personality content, you might use that in a lot of your content. That's absolutely fine. We're delighted to do that. The system will insist that you use at least one personality topic from the library, but that's the only restriction that's on that. Other than that, you can design what you like, write as much content as you like, and really make it your own publication as much as you want to. And of course, you can, if you look at the widget topics, as I've said before, you can add your own style by using the CSS. You can use your own front covers. You can create your own names. So it really is your own products that you want to create here. It's your own ebook publications that are personality centric, and we'd love to work with you on this one and get your message out into the world. And of course, PeopleMaps publications love to share that with their audience, and we know that you'll take it to your audience and your websites too. Okay, that's it. I think we've covered pretty much all the big stuff here. There's full support provided, but really, click about, have a play with it. I'm sure you'll have lots of questions. You can't break anything, so just have a go. You can't be charged anything unwittingly, so have a play with it. Familiarise yourself with it, and do raise your questions with us using the ticket systems at PeopleMaps. And just go to contact us at PeopleMaps and you'll see the ticket system and we'll get right back to you on that. Thanks for watching.